Hello and welcome to the Real Travel Show, where we take you on an exciting journey of fascinating places around the world. Invite your friends. Be my guest on this weekly journey around the world. Discover the food. Oh yes, my friend. The music, arts, culture, and the magical sights and sounds. Welcome to the Real Travel Show with me, yours truly, Ras Mubarak, and you, my friend, are very welcome. What comes to your mind when you hear Cuba? I don't know about you, my friends, but for me, it is the great Fidel Castro. It is Raul Castro. It is Che Guevara. It is revolution, a very small island country that has done so well in standing up to Western imperialism. It is salsa music. It is rum. It is cigars. It is boxing. Cubans love their boxing very much. But that's not all there is to Cuba. I mean, Cuba has a very high literacy rate, almost 100% literacy. And of course, Cuban doctors, they have trained many of our kith and kin, from here in Ghana. And we're excited to be bringing you an edition of the Real Travel Show that focuses on this small but great island country of Cuba. And who better, my friends, to tell us more about this country than Her Excellency, the Ambassador of Cuba, Anette Chao Garcia. She's a trained lawyer. She's studied politics as well. She had a stint in Riyadh when the Cuban embassy opened in 2007. And of course, she was in Bonn, Germany, until she was posted here in 2021 as Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba. Excellency, it's good to see you. Thank you for accepting to speak to us on the Real Travel Show.
Thank you for the invitation.
And I must say you're working very, very hard. I've seen a lot of your work out there. Most notable amongst them, you being named Queen Mother in the Volta region. I saw you in your beautiful Queen Motherly dress. How did that feel?
Let me add something of all that you said before, sorry, but women, we talk a lot, but because we are right always, then I need to add something. We Cubans, we are also very hardworking, and that's why we accomplish all that you say. Then talking about to be a Queen Mother is something, I'm really proud of it. I don't think I deserve it. I think it's a title for my country. Okay. Is Cuba the Queen Mother of many Ghanaians, because it's Cuba the place where those Ghanaians were studying and taking care of their life. We have more than 2,000 Cuban trained, and more than 2,000, not all of them doctors. We have lawyers, we have, I met someone, and I told you before, a few days ago, and he was telling me that when he talks about Cuba, he thinks in nostalgia. He feels that thing, and that's very, very big for me, because I have the same feeling, but I can go to Cuba every year. And for them, it's like Cuba the second place. That's why I'm the Queen Mother, not because Anette Chao is something. It's because Cuba is giving you more for a long time.
And indeed, you were in the Volta region to help with some humanitarian work as far as health screening is concerned, I believe.
Yes, in 2022, we dedicate all the year to make many outreach, not only in Volta region. We went to many places, okay. And it is our pride. And we will continue. We will continue doing that, not in the same way, because as you know, we have many fronts, we have many things to do. But for us, it's important to help the Ghanaian people. If we are here and we have our doctors, we have an agreement with the Ministry of Health for those specialists. We are working in some hospitals, but for us, it's important to give them this free health care. It's important to go to them, to explain them how to take care of their health, because it's very good for them not to be sick. It's to be preventive. It's more important for us. And then we will continue in that way. But talking about what you say, we want to be more present in Ghana. And it is our duty to diversify the sectors that we are working on.
Okay, so it's not just health that you want to focus on?
Health is very important,
yes,
but we want to be present, for example, in education. Okay. As you know, here you have a 30% of the population in illiteracy situation, yes, and then for us, we have a very important method. The name is Yo Si Puedo, Yes I Can, that we applied it in many languages in different countries. Okay. And we are trying to bring it, that method here. Okay. And also, you know, we are working on a plant there in the north for biolarvicides.
Okay.
Because we are trying to kill the mosquitoes.
That is very interesting. So you're collaborating with Ghana to develop some cure for malaria as well.
Yes, because your president, when he was the Minister of Foreign Affairs here of Ghana, he was the one that brought the idea. And then from that time we are negotiating on this. I hope we will do it in the...
Well, whilst we're on the subject of health, let me ask you this for the benefit of our audiences. How many Ghanaians do you take to, how many Ghanaians come to Cuba for training annually?
Right now we have around 170 for GNPC, the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation.
They are sponsoring some students.
Yes, they are sponsoring them. And also from Scholarship Secretariat, they have around 100 right now in Cuba. Okay. But the idea for Scholarship Secretariat is to increase the number in the next year.
Why has Cuba become the Mecca? And you are in Saudi Arabia, so I'm excited to use the word the Mecca. Why has Cuba become the Mecca for health training?
Because the most important thing for a Cuban is solidarity, is the good heart. Because as you know, we are a socialist country. Yes. And what is to be socialist? Is to put the human being in the center of everything. Okay. Then that happened to our medical school. Okay. For us, it's very important, the human being. And our doctors are very close to the patients. Our doctors take care of them like they are family. And that is important for us. They have a clinical method that is also good, but it depends on the approach to the patients. Okay.
So our relationship with you, I mean, the diplomatic ties between Cuba and Ghana dates back to the late 50s, almost 65 years, you know, since we established diplomatic relations. And Ghana was the first countries, you know,
in Sub-Saharan Africa, yes,
from Sub-Saharan Africa to establish a diplomatic relationship with Cuba. How has it been over the years?
It is very good you to bring that topic because this is the 65th anniversary of our relations. It will be on 23rd December of this year, and then for us this is a very important year. And talking about that, I was telling you that for me it's important Nkrumah, not only because Nkrumah was the leader of the independence of Ghana, it's because Nkrumah was very close of the idea that I have of Fidel Castro. That guy, he was a visionary person, he was a man like us, he was a human being, but a human being that cares about many others, like my Fidel Castro, like my commander-in-chief. Then for us it's important to be together because we have those ties from the history, but we have many ties here. You know, your country was supporting us all this time against the blockade that the United States imposed on us. Then for us it's important to appreciate that. Okay. That's why Cuba is with Ghana always, and will stand with Ghana always. And
once you've mentioned the blockade, let's put it in a proper historical perspective. So Cuba was colonized by Spain for over 400 years, and the United States of America went to war with Spain and superintended over Cuba. Is that correct?
Let me make a small correction.
That's all right.
Actually, they didn't win.
Oh, they didn't win that war?
We won.
It's
we were free, but
they
they
came. Internet that they won.
No, they won. They didn't win. We won, the Cuban people, and then they came and they make like a neo-colonialism way. Okay. And they took with some treats and this that we signed, because we made some failures, some mistakes. They came to Cuba and we had a president and we had all the things that a normal country had. but they were telling us what to do
do.
until 1959.
Okay.
When
Fidel Castro.
and the revolution. When the revolution came, we had the leader, Fidel Castro, but also the most important thing is we did it together. And we had that revolution because we wanted. That's why the revolution is there.
It was a very popular revolution.
Yes, not only Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro is the most important leader we had and we will have in a long time. But what it is important is the revolution. That's why the revolution is there. That's why the revolution will continue, because we want the revolution. The people always will have what they deserve, and we deserve the revolution, not because of we are in a difficult moment. We deserve the revolution because the revolution is the most just thing that we can have. Let's think on Cuba. Cuba is a small country and a small island.
What's the population now?
We are around 11 million,
okay.
But think that Cuba is a small part of Ghana, like 40% of the territory. It's a very, very, very small country. We don't have resources like you, because you have many resources here in Ghana, gold, iron, etc., not like Cuba. Then we did all what we did, or we made the triumph of the revolution real, and we thought, what can we do from now? Then we developed the human resources, because we don't have more. And we must do that because actually when the revolution came, we changed many things. We nationalized all the big companies, and we make a reform in all the agro thing. But came the blockade against Cuba.
So this was a blockade imposed by the United States of America under the leadership of JFK, John F. Kennedy, during his tenure in the early 60s. Against Cuba. What exactly did Cuba do wrong that the United States of America had to impose a blockade on Cuba?
They say we are the key of the Gulf.
You were the key.
Cuba has a very good position in the Gulf.
Okay.
Then Cuba is very close also to the United States.
Yes.
How can you, if you are a big man, accept that a small person can do all that a small person wants in your backyard? For the United States, Latin America is like their backyard. And Cuba made what Cuba made in their backyard, and we will continue. Then they try to make us suffer. And they are not doing that to the Cuban government that they think is a regime and all that stupid things they say. They are doing that to my people. They are doing that to my family. They are doing that to my friends. They are doing that to me. Because the blockade is against all of us. Do you know that, for example, if we want to import food from the United States, those that will export to us need a special license.
Wow.
If we want some medicines from the United States, after the agreement that we have, they will have a license. And all that we have to pay it in cash. We have to pay it in cash and in advance. Which country can support that? And they said that they cannot give us raw materials for our biotechnology or for our pharmaceutical industry. What are we talking about? We are talking about a blockade. We are thinking on that time, do you remember Game of Thrones? Yeah. It's the same that they do to Game of Thrones. Yeah. It's like we are fighting. We are fighting, and then they are trying us not to get the important things to go in the country.
But why has it taken so long? I mean, it's been over 60 years since the blockade has been in place.
And also the United Nations condemned it for a long time, and nothing happened. Because the United States, they think they are an imperium, but not the imperium of Latin America only. They think they are the most important country in all the world. For us, it's difficult, and we are talking about the governments because we have a wonderful relationship with the people, because that people is suffering also. Do you know that the United States people, they cannot come in Cuba without a license? If they will go to Cuba, they need permission to go to a house, because that house where they will stay, it needs a permission. Even the hotel, if they will go to the beach, they need a permission to go to the beach. If they will marry a Cuban person, they need a permission to marry a Cuban person. Then where is the freedom of the United States? If they don't allow them to go to Cuba freely.
This is tough.
Yes, we are talking about a blockade. That's why I'm telling you. And also that blockade, for example, some people talk about embargo. And if they had all those sanctions against us, but only affecting the relation between Cuba and the United States, okay, we can talk about embargo. But we are talking of extraterritoriality. It's a very difficult word. We are talking about a situation is not only with the United States. They are touching many other countries.
Yes.
If Ghana has a company, and that company wants to have a business with Cuba, that company cannot do it with the United States because they will sanction that company. We have many examples of banks. They had fines because they were working with us. It's very difficult to send money to Cuba.
Survived? I mean, this is like a David and Goliath kind of situation.
That's why I told you. I have to add that we are very hardworking.
Okay.
It's very tough, but we continue. And it is tough not only because of that, it's also because they are fighting us in media. They are telling our young people that they will have no hope in Cuba. They are telling our young people that they are like that in 60 years because of our government.
Well, I mean, the public isn't buying that. The international community isn't buying that. The recent votes at the UN saw overwhelming majority of the countries around the world supporting for the lifting of the blockade.
And also the African Union. You know, we appreciate a lot what the African Union did the last month, that they approved a new resolution against the blockade, on the lifting of the blockade. And also talking about Cuba. You know, Cuba was, again, because they loved us. I'm sure they loved us. They are focused on us. They put us in a list of the Department of State telling that we are sponsoring terrorism. Cuba, there is a country very peaceful, a country that is trying all time to help others, a country that without resources is giving solidarity to many countries, as Ghana, as many countries in Africa.
Cuba has been an inspiration to many countries, not just in Latin America, but in Africa as well. And people who are looking up to standing against imperialism look up to, people like Che Guevara, Fidel Castro, and to your country. And I must put it on record that the world is proud of Cuba, in spite of the challenges that we are faced with. But let's put it in the proper perspective. Cuba is also very popular as a tourist destination, in spite of all of these challenges that you are facing. How are you getting people to come and visit? Because this American propaganda machinery is highly against Cuba.
But we have the solidarity of the peoples, like the solidarity of Ghana. And also, we have tough people in the world, and the United States is not the world, and they are not the owners of the world. Then Cuba has many beautiful things, as I told you. In another way, we have a wonderful people in Cuba. We are very warm, and we have a wonderful cuisine and beautiful places, beaches, and landscapes like this one. And we have...
It's beautiful. Yes. Where is this place particularly?
Actually, I don't know, but it looks like Pinar del Rio. So, Pinar del Rio is the first province of us.
So it's a typical
landscape in Cuba,
in Cuba. Amazing.
Yes, this is Palma Real. It's our national tree.
Okay. And is it difficult to go to Cuba?
No, it's not difficult. If you need a visa, just let me know, because our consul will give it to you very easy. It's not difficult to go to Cuba. Okay. It's far from Ghana, but it's not difficult to go. Okay. Even for the United States, we are open. As I told you, they are those that don't allow their people to go to Cuba. But if you go to Cuba, you will find a country with persons that They have many economical problems, and because right now we are in a crisis, as the world is in a crisis, but they are happy. We are a happy people, very, very happy.
And a very proud people.
Yes, and we love to dance, as you said.
Oh my.
We love to eat. We love to chat. We love to work. And we try to do it, and we try to find a way to do it happy.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to that in a bit. But in terms of trade, you've got tobacco, you've got nickel. What else are you exporting? And to which countries are you exporting these things?
Human resources. We have, because that's why we work on it. We have many teachers on the world, and also doctors
so
and
it's not
engineers.
Just doctors you're churning out, but
not
it's also
only,
teachers.
Not only.
You know, but for Ghanaians who come to Cuba, I mean, Cuba is a Spanish-speaking country. We are an English-speaking country. What is the arrangement? Do they go through Spanish courses?
The first year they go to an Spanish courses, and then that first year you lost them. They are free in Cuba. They feel like Cuba. When you see them in the street, I went the last year for holidays, and I met some of them. It's like they are Cubans. They look like Cuban, and they love to be in Cuba, and they were buying food like Cubans, and that's amazing. That's very good. You have a very good people. You know, the Ghanaian people is very disciplined, and they are very disciplined and very good in the school. I always said before to come to Ghana, I went to ELAM, the Latin America Medical School, and there they told me the best student they had were the Ghanaians.
Okay.
Right now they are in the 5th year, those they are the biggest, and they are in hospitals, but at that time they were in the school.
Okay. So over the years, when did this relationship with Cuba begin as far as having Ghanaian students go to Cuba is concerned? When did we start sending students
It was with Rollins.
to Cuba? Under President Rollins?
Yes,
Okay.
It was under Rollins, and the first batch were in 1983.
1983.
1983 they had 3 batches, and then in 1985 were another group.
Okay.
That's why I have many children. They are older than me, and they talk to me like mommy. Mommy is like a mother in Spanish. Mommy. I say, oh my God, I'm not your mother. I'm 43, and they are 50 something. But it's something beautiful because they look Cuba as the mother. That's why I told you the Queen Mother is Cuba.
Yes. And you've churned out so many doctors who are very, very disciplined.
Yes, and let me tell you, I'm really proud of many of them. You know, a few days ago, I have a Ghanaian mother. I love her, Marian. I love her very much, Marian Prat. And she went to the hospital with one of my Cuban trained. And I was so proud of Cabas, Dr. Cabas, the one that made that, the
Conjoined twins?
Yes.
Okay.
That guy that was the leader of the team.
Yeah.
I was so proud. He's Cuban trained. And also Boado, another, Emmanuel Boado. And there is a Cuban doctor, Mariela, also neurosurgeon. And also the anesthesiologist was a Cuban doctor of the medical brigade. I was so proud. And I remember, you know, my commander-in-chief, because my commander-in-chief was the one that has the vision on that.
Yes. And you are not only training Ghanaian medical doctors, but you're bringing in Cuban doctors to Ghana as well.
Yes, we have only 28 now.
Currently?
Yes,
Okay.
only.
That number has gone down?
Yes, before we gave it to you for free. Now we have an agreement, and they are only 28, but the Ministry of Health, they are struggling to bring more. They are trying to bring more Cuban doctors.
Okay. And you spoke earlier about exporting teachers from Cuba as well.
Yes, we have in many countries. Most of them in Spanish
speaking countries.
Okay.
Okay. And as far as your relationship with Ghana is concerned, aside the training of our medical doctors, and I don't know whether they are nurses or it's just doctors.
Only doctors.
Only doctors. Aside that, is there any other levels of cooperation with Cuba? Obviously, you mentioned the malaria.
We are working very hard on it.
Okay.
We are working on it. And actually, I think we can do more. It depends on both sides.
Okay.
You know?
What are the other areas of cooperation, or what are
in biotechnology? in biotechnology.
Biotechnology.
You know, we are very
high up there
in the top of the biotechnology in the world, because we have many good medicines, and yes,
Okay.
we are doing it. But I don't want to give you a lot of highlights because, you know.
If anyone is joining us, I've got Her Excellency Ambassador Anette Chao Garcia, Excellency Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba to Ghana. I don't know whether you are designated to other countries in West Africa?
As you know, we have many embassies. Before we had Liberia and Sierra Leone, but we have embassies there. Okay. Not at the level of ambassador, but we have embassies there.
Okay, okay. And you're doing well with sports. I mean, boxing. I was surprised too.
I don't like boxing because I don't understand why people fight. You know, for me it's something. But yes, we are very good. We are very good in boxing, in baseball, in athleticism. We are very good because it's also a part of our human resources. We are on a small island, and we did it. We did it well.
Yes, you did it well. You've got a lot of Olympic champions in boxing.
Mm-hmm. But not only in boxing, please, because I don't want to fight.
Well, who knows? Maybe we could share some notes. Ghana could help you with soccer. We had a
time where we bring here some boxing trainers.
Okay, we could help you with football.
We are not good in football.
Well, that's why we could help you with football, and I'm sure.
Because for a long time we play baseball, not football. Now we are playing some football.
Yeah,
yes.
a little bit of football.
Yes.
Okay.
My son loves the football. Yeah.
Okay.
But he's here in Ghana, and before in Germany. Then for him is.
And so, which countries are bordering Cuba? I know you are not too far away from Jamaica.
But we are an island.
You're an island country.
We are an island.
Which countries are the closest to Cuba?
I think Haiti.
Haiti is closer.
Yes, it's very, very close. From the eastern part of Cuba, you can see the lights of Haiti.
Okay. Yeah. And Jamaica is not too far from Cuba.
No, it's not. It's not. Okay. Jamaica, Haiti, the United States, 90 miles, only 90 miles.
Only 90 miles to
yes,
the US?
Yes.
Hello and welcome to the Real Travel Show, where we take you on an exciting journey of fascinating places around the world. Invite your friends. Be my guest on this weekly journey around the world. Discover the food. Oh yes, my friend. The music, arts, culture, and the magical sights and sounds. Welcome to the Real Travel Show with me, yours truly, Ras Mubarak, and you, my friend, are very welcome.